Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad, and today we're going to talk about the predictions for RDTE, XDTE, and QDTE for this Friday and the following Friday. If this is what you're looking for, stay tuned. Okay, let's talk about what happened a couple weeks ago. Link to a video of their payouts, why they were so high, and why they didn't match mine. Link above. So they paid out on December 20th, 64 cents, 86 cents, and 26 cents. And that was much higher than my predictions because they were paying you out when they sold some of those poor man cover calls because they have to pay you capital gains. Just remember that. So when I talk about some of this, maybe I'll explain why that's important, because there's a whole lot of mechanisms going on. The best way to explain it is mechanisms. So that's what happened. You can go watch the video. So let's talk about Friday's predictions. First of all, I hope Reaching Riches gets well soon. I watch his stuff. He does a great job. He gets a lot more into the weeds than I do. I just give a more high-level profile vision in a short amount of time. So, Reaching Riches, hope you get well soon. We both say about 9 cents for XDTE, QDTE's right around that 15 cents, and we both say RDTE's right around the 26 cents. So, there you go. Get well soon. Keep that baby well. If I look at the calls for QDTE, well. Wow, Monday went right through the strike, and Friday went right through the strike. And not just a little bit, they went through the strike a lot. We're talking, they lost for the week $5 million. And you can say, oh, they're not really losing. Well, it's not really a loss. They're paying that out, they're gaining. But at the end of the day, you're going to get paid $4.4 million. And that's about 29 cents on their 15 million shares that they have. But I'll just look at this going, I'm a little curious of why, with the VIX going up on Friday, and the VXN, it's not really the VIX, is higher on Friday, but they're out of the moneyness is closer than Thursday. I think they were sleeping because the numbers show that they should have been farther out on Friday, but they weren't. That's okay. They still made the premiums. They're still going to pay you. It just means that they're getting farther away from the actual index. And remember, the poor man cover calls are still going up in value. So when I say, hey, they had to pay out $5 million, well, okay, their poor man cover calls go up, but if they ever have to sell you one of those poor man cover calls, guess what happens? That's right, they're going to pay you those gains, and you can see exactly what happens. Let's talk about this real quick. So the poor man cover call is still gaining. They're having to cash out and pay the cash to settle. So it's really kind of an offset. But when they have to sell one of those poor man cover calls, it's going to be at profit. And you saw last week what happens. They will pay you out. And what happens to your NAV when they do? Just pointing it out for you to have the information that you need to make a decision. There's nothing wrong with it. You just have to realize that you may have to put a little bit extra back into these when they do those capital gain distributions. Just pointing out some of the basic mathematics of what they're doing behind the scenes. Nothing wrong with it, just you need to understand what they're doing. XDTE, well. The VIX was clearly higher on Friday, but they sold it closer than, I don't get it. So Thursday, it was 0.63 out of the money. Friday, it was 0.48. And this is one thing I should explain about this. I'm taking market open. They have 15 minutes or so after market open that they normally write the calls. I'm taking it right at market open. Market changes. So you can see, I don't know exactly when they write them. I don't. I'm only giving you what market open is. But market open tells me that they were about 0.5 and the day before they were 0.6. Even though the VIX was at 24 compared to 21. There's the numbers. And it is what it is. They had to pay out $1.3 million in a loss, which really isn't a loss because poor man cover call is still going up. But if they have to sell that poor man cover call, you're going to get paid out, and you can see what happens. It's all mechanics. You're still going to get 28 cents because there's 5.4 million shares, and they're still going to pay you out that $1.5 million. RDTE. Well, RDTE isn't the godchild like it used to be. It was always not hitting the calls, but Monday they hit and Friday they hit. And this is important because look at Fridays. Yes, it hit, but it was still a profitable call. That's some of the difference, and that's what I'm showing. They still ended up paying profits. They made $2.4 million in their calls, but look at what they're going to pay out. Approximately 56 cents. And that's 2 weeks from now, not this Friday. My numbers matches Reaching Riches for this Friday. So there you go. January 3rd, Happy New Year. You're looking at 28 cents for XDTE, 29 cents for QDTE, and 56 cents for RDTE. Thereabouts. Add a little money for their treasuries that they have. You can see exactly where those numbers end up falling, so you can plan around it. So one thing I want to cover today, just as finishing up the New Year's and Christmas. So my experiment for RDTE and building the better yield trap. Yes, I'm still going to call it the yield trap. And that's because some subscribers said yield trap when I said mouse trap, and it just kind of sticks. So you can see that all of these QDTE, RDTE, and XDTE are down. Now, I keep on saying gap up matters, and they will eventually get those gap back up. But remember, I'm reinvesting 50% back into the fund, and 50% goes to BTCI and clause. And you can see clause is about even, and they're building up nice and slow and steady. I'm not too worried about it, and we're just going to continue going on. I'm doing the same thing with Yield Max, and you can see that I started with $1,000. They're still slightly above board. Coney and Misty are taking a big hit. Netflix is taking a hit. Nvidia is taking a hit. Okay, so they're taking a hit, and they're individual stocks, and individual stocks are always more risky than the index. Just thought I'd throw it out. But that's also why they pay higher premiums. Take your pick. You can also see they're building out the clause and the BTCI faster than the Roundhill. Those are the results so far. I think it's a fun experiment. Gives me something to do on Fridays. So I told you yesterday during the video of Sweet Tea that I was going to start adding fear and greed to the videos. So today's fear and greed is 28. There you have it. Why fear? I don't know. But usually people that are greedy during the fear and fearful when it's greedy usually win. Just thought I'd throw it out for conversational point. So don't be fearful, be greedy. Well, this will probably be one of the last few videos before Christmas. And if you miss my video tomorrow or on Christmas Day, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I am going to take some time off to be with the family at Christmas time, and hopefully you're spending time with your family. So until next time, God bless and Merry Christmas.